Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain one of the very important modulation method called continuous phase frequency shift keying. My intention is to explain a modulation technique called MSK, that is minimum shift keying. But I'll begin with giving a brief introduction about CPFSK, that is continuous phase frequency shift keying, and how to represent a trellis diagram, that is tree diagram. What is this tree diagram, trellis diagram? That we will understand. So this is the basic or a foundation for MSK, because MSK is nothing but it is a type of CPFSK, continuous phase frequency shift key. See, the title says continuous phase frequency shift key. So we studied a frequency shift keying earlier, that is FSK, binary FSK method. Now in that binary FSK method, if I use a coherent demodulation technique, there we actually maintain the synchronization in terms of the frequency and the phase between the local carrier in the receiver and the transmitted carrier. So except this particular, maintaining a synchronization, we are not fully utilizing the phase information in the coherent demodulation of the FSK signal. Now what we can do is, if we can make use of that continuous phase property in the FSK, means my intention here is to tell you that if I change the frequency, switch between the frequency as well as change continuously the phase, two informations, the phase and the frequency both are actually varied continuously, or switching happens. The advantage of this method is the noise performance increases. Noise performance increases. The bit error rate will be less. So, but the problem with this is, whatever the improvement we are achieving, it is at the rate of, or maybe at the expense of, the complexity. The transmitter and receiver complexity will actually increase. Now with the binary FSK, there is a small difference between simple binary FSK and continuous phase FSK. Now what is that binary FSK is? Just look at this representation. So I am using two oscillators over here. This is oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. So this is for binary 1, let us say this is for binary 0. It's a high frequency oscillator, this one is a low frequency oscillator. I am switching between these two oscillators depending on your data. If the data is 1, say here in this case the data is 0. That means the switch is connected to this oscillator and this signal is transmitted. The signal is transmitted. When the data is binary 1, say during this particular bit interval, I switch to this oscillator. This oscillator is connected and transmitted. So I get a high frequency carrier. So I'm switching between this frequency and this frequency over here. Just look at this. Now what is the problem in this case? There's a discontinuous or an abrupt change in the phase. In case of binary FSK, let's just look at this. There's a possibility of an abrupt change in the phase. That should not happen. If this happens, what exactly happens is, the power spectral density when you draw for the binary FSK, there will be a large side lobes. There will be large side lobes, and because of that we get an interference problem. So this is a major problem in the binary FSK. Now what is continuous phase FSK? Just look at this. In the continuous phase FSK, I use one VCO, voltage controlled oscillator, where the oscillation changes depending on the voltage or a data here. If it is 1 or a 0, depending on that, it produces two frequencies, either high frequency signal or maybe a low frequency signal for a binary 1 and 0. Now in this case, just look at this, there is a continuity, phase continuity between the transitions between the 0 and 1. Is it not? Just look at this. There's a phase continuity over here. So that's why it is called a continuous phase frequency shift key. The frequencies are switched between high frequency to the low frequency, or maybe binary 0 by binary 1, whatever it is. The frequencies can be high frequency for 0, low frequency for 1, or it can be low frequency for binary 0 and high frequency for binary 1, whatever it is. But the phase is continuous. So this is the advantage of continuous phase frequency shift key. Now how we can represent this continuous phase FSK mathematically? By using the equation. Just look at this. This is for binary 1, symbol 1, root 2 EB by TB cos 2 pi F1t plus theta of 0. So I have included additional term over here. For a binary 0, again, this is root of 2ab by tb cos 2 pi f2t plus theta of 0. So we are switching between the two frequencies. There is a phase information also. The phase is theta of 0. What is this theta of 0 is? The meaning of that theta of 0 is it is the phase of the signal at the beginning of the bit interval. 0 is nothing but is theta of t equal to 0. That means at the beginning of the bit interval. Beginning of the bit interval means somewhere here. Beginning of the bit interval means somewhere here. At this point, at this point, at this point. That is at the beginning of the bit interval. So that is whatever the phase is, that is given by theta of 0. This is one way of representing the continuous phase signal. Sorry. Now, this same signal, the two different equations can be represented by using a single equation or something like this. A CP-FSK signal, which is it's actually called angle modulated signal. Now in this case, it is root 2e by tb cos 2 pi fct. I have used the term plus theta of t. This is a generalization of the two equations. Now what is fc? Fc is a central frequency, which is given by f1 plus f2 divided by 2. It is the center frequency of these two, f1 and f2. What about theta of t? Theta of t is the phase continuous function of the time. It's a phase representing continuous function of the time. That means this changes continuously. In case of CP-FSK, this changes continuously. Now what is the amount by which we are going to change that theta of t? The theta of t is varied by using this particular formula, or the variation of the phase is represented by using this particular formula. That is, theta of t is equal to theta of 0 plus or minus pi h by tb into t. What is this? The meaning of this is, the phase is actually changed at a particular instant of time t. It is changed by whatever the initial phase is. It starts with the initial phase, either plus pi h by tb into t, or it is minus pi h by tb into t. Now what is plus and minus here? Plus means the phase is increased by this much amount. Minus means the phase is decreased by this much amount. Okay, that is, the phase is increased by this much amount for binary 1, and the phase is decreased by this much amount for binary 0. So from the initial phase, this much of variation we are offering at continuously as the time changes. I'll show you that with the next diagram. So what is h here? I included one particular term called h. H is called as deviation ratio. This h is called deviation ratio, and that deviation ratio is given by tb into f1 minus f2. It is tb into f1 minus f2. f1 is this frequency, f2 is this frequency, multiplied by the bit interval tb. That is called deviation ratio. Now, let us consider at time t equal to tb. That means this is the beginning of the bit interval. This is at tb seconds. That means at the end of the bit interval, what will be the phase? So at t equal to tb, at the end of the phase interval, this is beginning, this is end, this is theta of 0, and we are going, as the time changes, we are continuously increasing the phase. At tb seconds, what will be the phase? So at t equal to tb, that means if I substitute this t equal to tb, this tb cancels, and we get an equation as theta of tb equal to theta of 0 plus or minus pi h. If I take a theta of 0 on the other side, it is theta of tb minus theta of 0 equal to plus or minus pi h. Either plus pi h or minus pi h. Plus pi h means for symbol 1, because I said we are going to increase by pi h amount here, or we are going to decrease for binary 0 by pi h amount. Okay. Now, using this, what I can do is I can draw something called as a phase tree diagram. So this diagram is actually called phase tree diagram. At a different time interval, what will be the phase? Just look at this. X-axis represents the time interval, y-axis represents theta of t minus theta of 0. This is normalized to this particular value, that is phase. So at 0, it is considered it is 0 only. At tb, this is 2 tb, so that means this should be tb here, this should be tb, right? This should be tb here. Then this is 2 tb, this is 3 tb, at 3 tb, 4 tb, 5 tb, 6 tb, something like that. So there is an odd multiple of tb seconds, there is an even multiple of tb seconds. This is tb, 3 tb, 5 tb, 7 tb, something like that. And this one is 2 tb, 4 tb, 6 tb, something like that. So odd multiples and even multiples. I will consider that next. Now, how to draw this tree diagram? I start with the initial phase of say 0. If the first bit is 1, we have to increase the phase by pi h. Is it right? The second bit is 1, we increase the phase by pi h. The third bit is 1, we increase the phase by again pi h, again pi h, again pi h. This goes on. Starting with this, if the first bit is 0, I decrease the phase by minus pi h. The next bit is also 0, I decrease the phase by minus pi h. Again, if the next bit is 0, decrease by minus pi h, and so on. Now, if the first bit is say 1, I increase the phase. If the next bit is 0, I decrease the phase by pi h. Again, if the next bit is 0, I decrease it. If the next bit is 1 from this particular point, it is increase of pi h. So 1, 0, 1, say 1, again 1, 0, 0, 0. Either you increase the phase or decrease the phase. See, that's how, depending on your data, the data can be anything. Depending on the data, this tree diagram can be considered. This is the general diagram. It's the general diagram. So it just goes like this. It decreases something like this, right? These are all the possibility. I am considering all the possibility in the data stream, input data stream. How the phase is varied continuously. That's what this phase diagram actually shows. Fine. So now, if the, say consider the number is some number like say 1. I taken this example here. 1101000. This is the number. Okay. If this is the number, in that case, 1 for that example, that what will be the tree diagram in this case? It's a continuous phase FSK. It is 1 increase, 0 decrease, again 1 increase, 0 decrease, 0 decrease, 0 again decrease. So we get a something like this: 1 1 0 1 0 0 0. This is the tree diagram for this example. If the data stream is different, accordingly that phase, the variation phase, the phase happens. Now, I consider a special case of h. The special case of h, the value h is an integer. Basically, that deviation ratio is an integer. It can be anything. Let us consider that h to be equal to half. In minimum shift keying, we consider h equal to half. Remember, for a MSK, h equal to half. If I consider h is equal to half, and if I consider only the odd multiple of TB seconds, which can be represented something like this, that is t, this t is odd multiple of TB. How it is odd multiple of TB? N is an integer again here. If n is equal to 1, we get a TB. If n is equal to 2, we get a 3 TB. If n is equal to 3, we get a 5 TB. If n is equal to 4, 2 into 4 is 8 minus 1 is 7, 7 TB, 9 TB, 11 TB, odd multiple of TB. If I consider even multiple of TBs, then T is equal to 2n TB. Is this a general equation? So if n is equal to 1, we get a 2 TB. If n is equal to 2, we get a 2 into 2, 4 TB, 6 TB, something like that for a different values of n. So this is a general case. And for an odd multiple of TB, I substitute this 2n minus 1 into TB in this equation. So what we get? We get theta of t minus theta of 0. If I take this on the other side, is equal to plus or minus pi h multiplied by this equation, that is 2n minus 1 into TB divided by TB, and h is equal to half. If I substitute that, so 2n minus 1 into TB, that TB cancels, I left with only 2n minus 1, I left with the 2n minus 1, and h is equal to half multiplied by this pi. This is what I'll get, plus or minus 2n minus 1 into pi by half or by 2. If I substitute different values of n, if n is equal to say 1, in that case it is plus or minus pi by 2. If n is equal to 2, it is plus or minus 3 pi by 2. Plus or minus 3 pi by 2 is equal to minus or plus pi by 2. Right? If n is equal to say 3, plus or minus 5 pi by 2 I will get. Say, if it is n is equal to 3, that is again equal to plus or minus pi by 2. So I can say for a different values of the n, this remains plus or minus pi by 2. And this happens for an odd multiple of TB and h equal to half. Fine. For an even multiple of TB, t equal to 2n TB. So I substitute that here, t equal to 2n TB in this case. So that 2n TB, TB cancels, I'll get 2n pi into h is half by 2. That 2 and 2 cancels, I'm left with only plus or minus n pi. By substituting this t here, I get only plus or minus n pi. For different values of n again, if n is equal to 1, I get a plus or minus pi. If n is equal to 2, I get a 2 pi plus or minus 2 pi, which is equal to 0. If n is equal to 3, I get a minus pi. If n is equal to 4, 4 pi, again it is 0. That means I can generalize it that for a even multiple of TB, it is either 0 or pi. That means this tree diagram actually reduces to this particular trellis diagram. We call this as a phase trellis diagram for h equal to half. This diagram represents a phase tree diagram or a phase trellis diagram for h equal to half. What is the value? I get either plus or minus pi by 2, or it is simply 0 or pi. That's it. This is for even multiple of TB. This value for odd multiple of TB. Just check here. 0, 2 TB even multiple of TB. It is either 0 or plus or minus pi. Just look at this. Plus pi or minus pi. For a 4 TB, it is again either 0 or plus pi or minus pi. It's 6 TB, either it is 0 or plus pi minus pi. What about odd TB here? 3 TB, I'm sorry, TB, 3 TB, 5 TB, 7 TB. At TB, we get a plus pi by 2 or maybe pi, minus pi by 2. Again at 3 TB, plus pi by 2 or minus pi by 2. That's what the answer is. So that means if the data is 1101000, my number for this particular number in the input in my data stream, it is 1 1 0 1 0 0 and 0. This is what I'll get the phase diagram. This is how I'm going to change. This is at the beginning of the bit interval. This is at the end of the bit interval. Sorry, this is at a 2 TB. This is at a TB. This is beginning at the end. If this is the beginning of the bit interval for a second bit, this is the phase at beginning of the bit interval. This will be the phase at end of the bit interval. If the beta bit is 0, if the bit is 1, this is the phase at the beginning. This is phase at the end. That means pi by 2 to pi. We are going to change the phase continuously between pi by 2 to pi. This is for 1. This is for bit 0. If the first bit itself is 0, I change the phase something like this. So this dark line represents the phase variation for this particular number. So in this video, I have explained the concept of continuous phase FSK, and I touched upon briefly about a MSK, that is minimum shift keying, and we call this CPFSK as MSK for H equal to half, the deviation ratio equal to half. Thank you for watching this video.